Well, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome to the programme this morning Wallis, who's homegrown in Barrow, but is now down in London. Welcome to the show, Wallis.
Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, you're becoming a bit of a regular on Can Do.
Well, this is my second one, but no, I like to keep the roots alive. I always like to speak to local radio stations. It's where I started, so...
It's important to get the word out there at the grassroots, because the big boys and the big stations, they look to just for picking the big music artists, whereas we're so important to get people on their first rungs of the ladder known out there so as they can climb into those big seats.
Oh, no, I'm Barrow born and bred. If anyone ever asks me, I want to put Barrow on the map more than anything, so if I can be the first household name out of Barrow and Furness, that'd make my life, if anything.
Now, you've been in the music industry for a little while now.
Yeah, so I've only actually broke through with my original stuff for the past year. I moved to London when I was 13 and I went to a theatre school called Sylvia Young, and that was more musical theatre. And then after Sylvia Young, I went to the Brit School, and that's also musical theatre as well. So I think the music's sort of only taken off since I left Brit. So I started singing with lots of bands and, doing some session work with musicians, and it's just taken off from there, really.
So you've had how many singles now?
So I'm on my third. So Pleasures is my third single, and I started off in March, so we've made quite steady progress since then.
That's incredible progress when you consider that COVID's really been biting into the nation since March.
That word. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we had no idea how much it would affect everything like it has, but I think we just, me and my producer, we just stuck our teeth in and just carried on as best we could. It has brought a bit of a delay. Ideally, I would have had 4 songs out by now, but you can't change the way the world is at the minute, so we just had to really go with the flow.
So your first single was?
It was called Never Gonna Be.
Okay.
Yep. So that one that was my debut. So I brought that out back in March, and it exceeded my expectations, if I'm being honest. I put it on the BBC Introducing, which is an amazing platform for upcoming artists. And Tommy Salmon, who is the Introducing DJ, he got hold of it and he made it track of the week. And Hugh Stevens, who is a BBC Radio 1 presenter, he did a feature where regional DJs can shout about 2 local acts, and Tommy ever so kindly picked me, so I got played with Hugh Stevens in our first lockdown. So I think when anyone asks how was your lockdown, it was like, it was the best thing ever, because I was sat at home listening to myself on Radio 1. It was great.
That is absolutely fabulous first step into the industry.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just had no expectations, because music can either go one way or another, but it's a brilliant song. I hold it very close to my heart, and yeah, for it to get played on Radio 1, my first ever song, it was something else. So I've definitely got Tom Salmon to thank for that one.
So how important do you think it is for people with talent in Barrow to get out of the county and get down to places like Manchester or London to ply their trade in the music industry?
I just think it's key. I really do. I'm a very strong advocate for Barrow. I love my hometown. I'm a Barrovian through and through, and my roots will always be there. My mum and dad are still in Barrow, but I just think to pursue a career in music or to pursue a career in performing arts, you just need to get out of the town. As much as I don't want to come across as putting Barrow down at all, because I will never do that. It's my home. But for what I wanted to do and for anything creative, I just feel that the town doesn't have that. I mean, we've got the good old Forum 28, and that's where I started doing my shows with the Demon Performance Academy. But there comes a time, if you want to pursue it professionally and you want to do it for the rest of your life, it's like you can't do it in Barrow. You really do need to take that step, and it's a hard step. I mean, I was 13. I was very young. So some people thought I was too young, but my mum and dad and myself and my nana, we all just knew it was a collective agreement, and I was lucky enough to get a place at Sylvia Young, and it just would have hindered me if I didn't, and I would not be where I am now if I'd have stayed in Barrow. It's imperative. So if you want to do anything creative, anyone that's listening, please get down to Manchester, get down to London. It'll be the best thing you ever do.
That's really sound advice. Thanks, Wallis. Now,
Yeah, no.
Now, Attitude is probably the most familiar single that people will know in Barrow. I mean, how well did that one do for you? It's your second single.
Yeah, Attitude, it was a bit different to Never Gonna Be. I had a feature on it by a rapper called Dundee. He's quite heavy in the Tottenham music scene. Like, he's more underground, like grime and more urban style. But Attitude was more of an urban track. So I wanted to sort of merge them together. And it did, again, it got played with Tom Salmon. He's a great supporter of my music. Got a lot to thank him for. And he played Attitude out and made it track of the week. So it did well. No BBC Radio 1 play with that one. But that's okay. BBC Radio Cumbria really bigged it up, and I appreciate it. I really, really do. But as a second single, I loved it. I did. My nana grew up on Egerton Court, so that's where I shot the single cover for it. Because as much as I know I go on about Barrow a lot, but I want to be connected to the hometown. And if anyone asks me, I always say, "Oh, it was over Barrow Island, shot at Egerton Court outside my nana's flat where she lived." The roots of the hometown were still there. Yeah, it did well. I was really happy with Attitude. Really happy with it.
So you coming back to Barrow for Christmas?
Oh, I am indeed. I've never had a Christmas away from home. I was meant to have a Christmas away from home. I was actually meant to be singing in Thailand, but obviously good old COVID happened, and it all got cancelled. So I'm going to be spending it with my mum and dad, like always. Yeah, I love coming home for Christmas.
You're getting that little bubble.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, definitely, yeah. Not seeing anybody, just with mum and dad. Got to still keep the precautions, but no, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, tell everybody about this new single.
Pleasures. So it's my latest single. It came out 2 weeks ago now, and I think my music's sort of going down, rightly so. Like I'm a very strong feminist, but my music's sort of going down the female empowerment route. And this song definitely, it's a rallying call to girls everywhere. Like the pre-chorus, the bit before the chorus, the lyric is every boy that breaks us makes us twice as tough. So it was definitely sort of an anthem-y song, but it's just about not taking any rubbish, really. If I'm being real with you, it's to keep going. I wanted to call it Pleasures because one of my favourite lines is in the song is all for the women who are making noise and taking pleasures when it comes to boys. I just want to keep it real. Anybody out there who listens to my music, it's all personal experiences. I write from the heart and I'm real. I'm a very upfront and like honest person, so I want that to convey in my music. And yeah, no, Pleasures definitely is that. If you take a good listen to lyrics, relate to me how you will. So I'm really happy with this one. It's definitely one of my favourites. I just feel I've taken it up a gear, definitely with Pleasures. Well, that's what you're going to have to do with every single you make now, is take it up that extra dimension. Yeah, no, I've set the bar quite high with this one, so it's I'm hopefully going to bring out new music in January, or January might be pushing it a bit, but February. So I need to, again, with every song that I bring out, I want it to be better than last, so I just need to keep ramping it up. No pressure then. Yeah, no, exactly, no pressure. My producer, if he listens to this, he's going to be like, oh, great. Oh, thanks ever so much for sparing some moments with us today on Can Do FM. Thank you so much for having me. And I want you to have a wonderful Christmas and come back in the new year and launch that fourth single for us, eh? Yeah. No, definitely. And as soon as I do, I'll be letting you know about it. So would you like to introduce your current single? Oh, I'd love to. So this is Pleasures by Wallis. Thanks, Wallis. Gotta shake 'em up, gotta cause a stir. This is gonna be a short redemption, ask no questions. Getting early when the sun comes up, just getting started when the bars have shut. You think you're ready for the life I'm leading? I ain't afraid, won't ever catch feelings. See you making moves, we can count me in. I'm for the ladies with a big demeanor, she's a keeper. All the women who are making noise and taking pleasures when it comes to boys. Don't feel the need to live their lives in secret. Shaking the system, I'm making you feel this. Every boy that breaks us makes us twice the sun. Just say you're heading up. Cause I ain't living in the box you're trapped in. It's my time and you know I've tapped in. Twice the sun. Just say you're heading up. Like a leader's bed. All I'm seeking is my own fulfillment, queen type treatment.
better. 'Twas